think we'll go ahead and get started. And if people want to trickle in, they can. So my name is Jessica. I am a marketing associate at Playground, and I am so pleased to present Sasha. As you probably know, Sasha is a co-founder of Playground, and he is going to lead us through this great webinar on AI and technology and how you can use that to supercharge your childcare. So without further ado, Sasha, take it away.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jess. Hi, everyone. My name is Sasha Reiss. I'm a co-founder here at Playground, largely responsible for designing the product itself. But today, for the most part, actually, I want to be talking about how you can leverage really cool technology like AI to get more out of your day, ultimately spending more time on higher leverage things like the kids and really moving the needle for your business. So let me share my screen here and we'll get into it. And I like to call this talk the easiest way to supercharge yourself. So let's get into it. I'm going to give a brief introduction on what it is that we're actually going to be talking about. We'll get into what a high leverage mindset is, because that's going to be the core feature here of how you can multiply your output or get the same amount of output for less time that you put into it. We'll talk about how you can actually leverage some really cutting edge technology in a way that's incredibly easy and accessible to actually move the needle forward with your business. We'll talk about how this actually can be applied directly into your CCMS, so your childcare management system. Specifically, I'll talk about Playground and some of the deeper automations that Playground has available, and also how Playground integrates this technology to help your business move forward. And then we'll wrap up. But let's jump into it. So the idea here is I will be talking to you about how you can 10x yourself. So with your business, obviously, there are two different levers that you can pull to drive it forward. You can either make more money or you could lower your costs, right? And today we're going to be talking a little bit about how you can actually just drive your costs lower. So who am I first? Before I get into all this, who am I? What is my credibility? Why am I actually here talking about this? What experience do I have? So as you guys know, my name is Sasha. I'm one of the co-founders of Playground. And I have talked to hundreds, if not thousands, of providers at this point about their day-to-day, ranging from getting started, getting licensed, all the way through hiring, retention, the day-to-day stuff, and then of course also the business side of things. So I've seen firsthand what it's like to run a childcare business, but I also work on the software side on how can we build in automations and give you back your time to spend it on things that actually move your business forward. So the thing that is most important here is having a high leverage mindset. And what does that mean? Basically, it's understanding the difference between a high leverage action and a low leverage action. A high leverage action is one that is unique to you. It's a type of task that actually moves your business forward, one that only you may be specialized to do so. Whereas a lower leverage task might be one that you could delegate out to an assistant director or a teacher or lead teacher. What's important about this is that it's important to have a high leverage mindset with your business. You should be spending as much of your time on high leverage activities, or you should be trying to minimize the amount of time you spend on low leverage activities. You guys likely are already delegating low leverage tasks, whether it's by hiring an assistant director, as I mentioned, or by just finding ways to automate your tasks if you can't actually hire them away. There's a way actually, though, that we can actually make certain high leverage tasks lower leverage. I know this is getting a little bit confusing, but basically it means that tasks that otherwise only required your time and energy, where previously you were spending an hour, let's say, or maybe 30 minutes drafting an email notifying families about a lice outbreak. With some really cool technology, which I'll get into right now, you can drive that time down to 5 minutes. So a huge amount of time that you're able to save because you've taken this once previously high leverage task and made it lower leverage. So how do we actually do that? How do we achieve that? For those of you that aren't familiar, there's this really cool company that exists called OpenAI, and they make this technology called ChatGPT. You may or may not have heard of it, but it's essentially an AI system that is your robot assistant, and it's incredibly smart, incredibly powerful, and it basically just does what you tell it to do. And so I'll be showing you exactly how you can apply this to your day-to-day life as a childcare business owner. So there's some examples here. You could do it on the marketing side, like having it create a content calendar for you, or even generating social media posts. On the enrollment side of things, you can have it create a tour script or email sequences for families that have applied but not yet, families that have requested a tour but haven't actually toured, or families that have toured but not actually applied or registered. On the actual classroom side of things, you can have it draft lesson plans and activities, or even draft personalized children's stories that you could read directly to the kiddos. You can use it for HR, writing staff PTO policies or parent handbooks. You could use it for communication, as I previously mentioned, like writing emails about lice outbreaks or reminding families about center closures. And I'll, in a second, screen share and show you exactly how this can work. Yeah, actually, let me go ahead and do that. Give me 1 second here. So we have this really cool resource that Playground created, a bunch of sample prompts that you could use for ChatGPT that you could basically build off of for your own business. And Jess, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've already sent this out previously. If you guys want a copy of it, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're more than happy to resend it to you. But this is a great way to dive into the world of AI and ChatGPT. And I'll show you exactly how it works. So let's actually start on the marketing side. Rather than sitting down and spending an hour trying to write out an entire content calendar for your center, instead what you could do is you can go in here and actually just copy and paste this directly into ChatGPT. So let's create a content calendar for our Instagram, Facebook, and email with a cadence of 1 post per day. I'll jump into ChatGPT, paste it in here like this, and in a matter of seconds, it just does its magic right in front of you. So it'll say, week 1, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it'll spit out exactly what it should be. And this is just going without me having to do anything. This is in a matter of 20 seconds now. I have an entire content calendar. I can go in here and I can actually modify it and say, okay, great. Do this now, an entire month just for email or just for Facebook or just for Instagram. But let's say this is great. We have 3 weeks now of content ideas. So in this case here, on Monday, welcome to our childcare center. This is a photo of the center's entrance with a warm welcome message. On Tuesday on Facebook, we're going to introduce some of our teachers with a photo and a bio. Let's say, okay, great. This is a good start, but I don't actually want to write the content for my post, or, the alternative right now is you sit down and it takes you 15 or 20 minutes to brainstorm it, draft it, refine it, polish it. Instead, what I could do is I can just copy paste this prompt in, generate a social media post to advertise our new infant care program. And I'll post it like this, copy it in. And in a couple of seconds, right before your eyes, with emojis and all, it will draft this really incredible post for you. I'm just going to pause here and look, my hands are off the keyboard. This is just doing it for me. With hashtags, so it'll show up on the Explore feed. But look at how professional sounding this is without any work, really. The only work you have to do is email us and ask for us for the chat prompts. So this is one really, really, really great example of, maybe previously you haven't invested a lot of time into your marketing, or you have, but it just took up way too much time. This is a great way to significantly leverage your time to generate a lot more output. And this could be, spending 15 minutes on ChatGPT to create and schedule all these posts out could be the difference of filling your enrollment or not. Whereas previously it would take you, hours and hours. This is minutes, if not seconds. And that's just one side of things. So that was just the marketing side. Let's jump over to enrollment and see what we can do there. Let's say we want to write an email for families that were scheduled for a tour but never showed up. And we want to have them reschedule. We'll tell ChatGPT exactly that. And again, without me having to do anything, if it writes the email, it drafts it for you in front of your very eyes. It's very professional sounding. Again, you're not doing anything here. And truthfully, this email is probably way too much text for me. Like this is, if I got this email, I would not read all of it. So what I could do is when it finishes here, I'll say, rewrite this, make it more concise and less formal. And you can literally modify the output here and the tone to make it fit exactly how you want it to sound and how you want it to reflect your business. And so just like this, it sounds and looks a lot more casual. It's a bit shorter. And maybe I'll say, rewrite once more, no more than 5 sentences. And hopefully this should be the last one that gets us to the right spot. And that looks great. Cool. So that's something you could do on the enrollment side. And again, you could do this. This is just for one email, rescheduling the visit, but you could do one for families that did schedule it and say, hey, write this for families and invite them to actually register or apply. So again, whereas before you might have spent 15, 20, 45 minutes, or maybe not at all because of the amount of time that you would have to spend writing this stuff, you can just crank all these emails out in a matter of minutes. Sweet. Let's jump into the actual engagement side, the child engagement, and how we can use it for lesson planning and engaging with the kids. This is probably my favorite one, I think. I have a prompt here that says, write a children's story about 2 little girls named Sarah and Rachel that are going on an adventure to save Christmas. This is obviously a very generic example here, but you could tell it and basically replace it with the names of the kids in the class for the teachers. And the system will spit out this story that the teacher can basically read word for word to the kids, and it's incredibly personalized to them. So, once upon a time in a cozy little town called Maryville lived 2 best friends named Sarah and Rachel, and they couldn't wait for Christmas to arrive. And it's an entire story spun up for you as a teacher without having to do anything. So next time your teachers say, or maybe you run out of activities to do, you could just throw this into ChatGPT, give it a random topic to write the story on, and just literally read it word for word to the kiddos. Another way I like to use this for the classroom is you can have it draft lesson plans for you. So in this case, create a lesson plan for an infant classroom that's focused on nature and social emotional development. So I'll just paste this into ChatGPT. And it spits out the age group, the objective, materials needed, the duration, and the actual plan with timing and instructions for every step here. And again, my hands are off the keyboard. It's spitting it out. This is relatively generic, the prompt I gave it, but you can give this tool to your teachers or to yourself, and the amount of lift that's required to create these activities is incredibly low now. So you can knock out, an entire week in 5 minutes rather than spending half an hour or an hour.
Sasha, I'm just going to jump in really quickly. We had a question in the chat about whether ChatGPT has a Spanish version, and it does. So you can tell the chatbot to speak to you in basically any language. I'm not sure how many, but Spanish is definitely one of the supported languages. I think there's quite a few that are supported. So you can absolutely use this tool for other languages, not just English.
Yep, and I just told it to rewrite this in Spanish, and the entire activity that I just created is now being spit out to you in Spanish. So this is, and this works for any language. This is, an incredibly powerful AI, and it's tapped into any language. It's very, very, what's the word? Fluent. Cool. So yeah, so it's going to finish this up. And then I'm going to jump over into a couple other ways that you could use it. And by the way, great question. Thanks for hopping in there. Cool. Let's talk about policies. So I mentioned before that lice outbreak. Write an email notifying families of a lice outbreak. I'm going to actually show you how Playground does this as well. So for those of you that don't know, Playground is a childcare management system that helps you run all of the different facets that it comes to your childcare business. So whether it's family management, billing, registration, enrollment, staff PTO, staff hours, lesson plans, pretty much anything and everything you need to run your business, Playground handles. And one of our recent feature additions is actually Camber, our AI assistant that is built on and powered by ChatGPT. So if I tap this little AI assistant here, Camber shows up, and I can just paste the same way that it works in ChatGPT, write an email notifying families of a lice outbreak. And I'll post it in here. And in a matter of seconds, just like with ChatGPT, it will spit out a fantastic email that I could just copy and paste and send directly to my families. So here it's thinking, and it will spit this out in just a moment. Hopefully, I'm thinking extra hard, so maybe this email is going to be extra good. There we go. And again, you can tell this to be a bit more concise. You could limit the number of sentences in the email. You could tell it to be, include next steps or don't include next steps. But all of this is done for you automatically. Again, talk about high leverage activity. This is as high leverage as possible because you're getting this really fantastic email without spending your time and energy and effort on it. And truthfully, from my end, I don't think I'd be able to write a better email than this. Even if I spent five times as much time on it. And so again, Camber is built straight into Playground. You don't have to go elsewhere to use it. And again, it's how Playground is kind of embedding a lot of this AI technology to help you maximize and save your time throughout the day so you could spend it on the things that move your business forward instead of tedious administrative work. Cool. Let me go through a couple other prompts here that is really cool, I think. Let's say a PTO policy for your teachers. I can put this in here. And this is something that you could put directly into your employee handbook with them. Again, you could tailor this. You could give it specific constraints based off of your business, but again, it's incredibly hands-off.
Sasha, we just got another question in the chat that I think you can answer. The Camber feature, is that in the staff menu as well, or is it only for admins?
Right now, it's only for admins, but we are looking to expand it and make it available to teachers as well in the coming months. But for the time being, ChatGPT is a free tool that the teachers can use to create their lesson plans, or for whatever else they might be wanting to use it for. Good question. Alrighty. Cool. So as I mentioned, we'll be able to provide this ChatGPT cheat sheet prompt sheet for childcare. If you guys stick around, or just let us know and we'll follow up with an email. At the bottom of it as well, I have included modifiers for you to use to help alter the response of the assistant. So you can ask it to be, more serious, more friendly, more compassionate. You could rewrite it to be more concise, more humorous, more descriptive, whatever it might be. And my personal favorite is asking it to rewrite it for as if the audience was, a bunch of third graders, or maybe busy 40-year-old moms, or maybe an 80-year-old who reads slowly. And the system will spit out the same content, but in these different tonalities and with these different sort of levels of descriptors to appease the audience that you want to effectively reach. So again, let us know if you want this. More than happy to send it out. It's a great way to start using ChatGPT without much work.
Yeah, we'll be sending it out automatically to everyone post-webinar as well. And you already have it actually in the newsletter that you used to sign up for this webinar, but we will send it out again with a recording to the webinar. We want everyone to have access to this because it's a really helpful resource.
Awesome. So that was a lot about ChatGPT and AI. And I want to pivot here and talk a little bit more about Playground. So for those of you that don't know, Playground, our mission is to make excellent childcare accessible to everybody. And the way that we do that, the way that we're kind of taking a stab at it, is by freeing up providers and administrators to spend time, again, in a high leverage fashion on the things that, ultimately were the reason why they joined or why they started their careers. And that's more than likely to work with the kids. And so we believe that our role in the space is to automate the rest of the work so that providers can spend their time on childcare, which is really, the only kind of work that is work that only people can do. So our aim here is to eliminate all this busy work for you. We are one unified tool to help with, again, everything from enrollment, waitlist management, paperwork and forms, your billing, activity tracking like naps and pottying and diapering, meals. We help with family engagement, sending out text blasts, emergency notifications. We will track your expenses. We'll do your family CRM, data management, immunizations, your learning development, curriculum assessments, scheduling, staff hours, food program, third-party billing, reporting, everything. I'll leave a little bit of time at the end to talk about what next steps are in case you want to book a time with one of our experts to go through the system together. But just to give you guys some context on what Playground is and who we are. I also want to highlight some places in the system where we are already incorporating ChatGPT and AI to make your life easier. So one place is our AI emails. These can be found under the enrollment feature where as families go through the enrollment stages, from applied to waitlisted to accepted, you can, the system will send out these automatic emails that go out. And we have ChatGPT integrated there to help rewrite those emails, expand ideas, rephrase it, make it more formal or more friendly without you having to lift a finger. It's just one click and it just does it for you. Additionally, some other places where, again, thinking about high leverage will help you with your paperwork. So our paperwork feature has some really incredible features where it will autofill repetitive information. So rather than parents filling out their name, email, phone number, allergies, medications over and over and over again, our system is smart enough to recognize, hey, this is something that we already have. We can autofill it for the families. So another way to delight your families and spend less time on managing paperwork. Lastly, this isn't necessarily AI, but it is in that realm of automating yourself out and leveraging yourself. So if you have teachers or staff and you give them the ability to spend money or supplies on their classroom, you can give them their own spend management portal where they have a set budget and you can see exactly how they're spending their money rather than you having to spend time tracking where the money is being spent and reconciling payments and tracking down receipts and adding memos. Instead, you can, again, leverage yourself out, give them this portal, you get full visibility into it. You're spending now a fraction of the time on expenses and spend management, and your teachers feel autonomy, empowered, and more delighted to be working for you. So again, spend less time on these things. Playground enables you to do so. And then lastly, we also give you a bunch of built-in insights. So you're spending less time on actually figuring out how many slots do I have open? When can I, accept this inquiring child? We will do that heavy lifting for you so that you can make more money and so you can keep yourself at your desired capacity. Cool. The last thing I'll say before I wrap up is ultimately your success is our success. Playground was built on the mission of making your life easier, and it's our intention to deliver you as much value as possible, as quickly as possible. It's our belief and our intention to get you up and running. We see ourselves as a partner with our childcare businesses that we work with. And so we're very much incentivized to make sure that you have all the support that you need to succeed on our platform. So with that being said, I'd love to open up to questions. I also want to mention that if you are curious and want to take a deeper look into the system, you can book a free demo today by going to tryplayground.com and hitting book a demo, or you can stick around or throw into the chat, and we would be more than happy to follow up and get some time on the calendar.
Thank you so much, Sasha. That was awesome. Everyone who's here, I just launched a quick poll just for our purposes. We're interested to kind of learn a little bit more about what you're interested in optimizing in your childcare center. So if you wouldn't mind filling out that poll. But yeah, we'll stay on for a couple more minutes. If anyone has any questions, you can also always just reach out to us if you have any questions about how to use ChatGPT. It really is such a fantastic tool that is free and accessible to everybody. So if you're not already using it, it's definitely something you should check out and just start playing with. And the more you play with it, the more comfortable you'll get with using it. So definitely pull up a browser and get going. Oh, looks like we have a question. Oh, just a comment. Thanks so much. Loved all the information. Great job, Sasha. So feel free to stay on and ask more questions, or you can